What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Round Mound of Talk Around, a Sixers Roundtable show. This is a kind of an interesting show where we kind of like to go off the wall with these things. Just a few weeks ago, we graded the Sixers 2021-2022 season via Chick-fil-A menu items. Today, we're doing a Sixers draft, and we are going to do a snake style, like fantasy football / snake style draft here, where we're going to pick the all-time great Sixers players in a 3 versus 3 tournament. And what that means is when we're done here, we're going to throw them onto Twitter. We're going to throw them onto YouTube and see who has the best 3-man Sixers squad of all time. It's going to be a ton of fun. But guys, if you're watching us live, please be sure to comment. Please be sure to subscribe to everybody here. We're live streaming on multiple platforms. My man Mitch Kofsky over there of Hardcore Sports Network. We're on his channel. We're on Edge of Philly Sports on Facebook. Please be sure to go check them out on Facebook. Philly Sports Alliance, we're also on there. And Pick Swap Media, we are also streaming there as well. We've got a lot of Mitch fans in the comments already.
Because I shared it out like 5 seconds ago.
I love it. BOSG says, "What's up, Mitch?" Let's fucking go.
No, get my guys from the Hardcore Sports.
I love it, guys. Let's just kind of throw it to you, Mitch. Plugs. Where can we find you, man? Before we get rolling with this draft.
Well, first you can find me on YouTube at Mitch Kofsky, Hardcore Sports Network on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can follow me on Twitter, and a lot of big things coming from the Hardcore Sports Network, so stay tuned.
Now we've got a special guest all the way over there. He is Zach. What's going on, Zach, man? Thanks for joining.
Yeah, anytime. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is one hell of an idea tonight, so I'm super excited to see how it falls. I feel pretty good about my team, but as far as my stuff, where to find it, managing editor, Philly Sports Network, definitely check out our stuff there. Now in Metro Philadelphia as well. And I'm now also the site co-expert for Section 215. So for all your Philadelphia sports needs, definitely check us out there as well.
Go check that out, guys. Share the love. I'm going to throw it down to Sean, who might be there. He might not be there. We don't really know. What's up, Sean?
Yeah, what's going on? Sorry, I tied up running late, but on the way home, so you guys will see my face shortly. But yeah, you guys have seen me on here often, but you can catch my work at Philly Sports Network and Clutch Points, and obviously Pick Swap Media for the podcast. But yeah, I'm excited to get going and drafting some Sixers.
Sean, you never looked as good, man. You never looked as good. I mean, you're looking good tonight.
Oh, my.
The Nate Show is in the house. What's going on, Nate Show? And then we saved the best for last of the Killing Me Smalls podcast. He is Mike Small. What's up, Mike?
I don't know who you people are or what I'm doing here, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm actually thrilled to be here. Always have fun with Mr. Crockpot and the crew. And check out the Killing Me Smalls podcast. Been on hiatus. Still trying to recover from the stench of Game 6 from the Sixers. Going on vacation for the next 2 weeks, but starting in August, we'll be back with a lot of great football content. And I'm sure the Sixers will do something to piss me off that we'll talk about. So follow me on Twitter at RealMikeSmall. Killing Me Smalls podcast is part of the Painted Lines Network, and you can find it on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. By the way, Mitch.
Yeah.
Serena has 2 weeks left in Jersey.
I know.
In case you didn't know.
And we got breaking news. The Suns matched Aiton's contract. They matched it.
Whoa. They matched it?
Wow.
They just matched it.
Whoa. Okay.
That means they can't trade him for a year unless he agrees to it.
4 years.
Yeah, January 15th, I think it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
And there's the Suns fan right there.
Iverson vlogs. All right. Let's roll. Let's find out who has the number 1 pick in this draft. May the odds be ever in your favor. Here we go.
Wow.
All right, Zach, you get the number 1 pick.
Woo! All right.
We're not going to do this selection yet. We're going to see. We're going to go through the picks first. Hold on.
All right.
Just 1 second, Zach. Sean, you get the number 2 pick.
It's a great day for
Sweet.
PSN.
I do not like how this is going at all.
No, this is terrible.
Well, there you go.
All right. I get the number 3 pick.
All right, Cork Maz, you're coming my way.
And
Hey,
Nick,
there we go.
all
How about
right.
if I go last?
I'm sorry, Mike. It's just
Yeah,
the way it rolls, man. It's the way it
know
rolls.
what?
Mike, you get the last pick, but you get the first pick in the
That's
second
true.
round.
That's
I forgot
true.
about that.
So there is
So
that.
I can take it in the second round. I'll take that.
Are there trades available? Because I could trade my second round pick for 2/3. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, give me 4 future firsts, and I'll take it. Yeah.
Pick swap.
Iverson says, Mitch, not trying to get off topic, but a Suns reporter did say Kevin Durant is still not off the board. That is really interesting, man.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
The NBA is drunk, has been drunk all All right. Team Zach, who is the number 1 pick in the all-time Sixers draft?
And I feel like Charles Barkley right now. When
Really?
they had their job.
Oh, wow.
But I am not taking Allen Iverson.
I was ready to
Ah.
put that in there.
You know what? But it is. I think it might be nearly, if not even potentially more so, controversial. But when looking at the list of all the different players over the history of the Sixers and who would thrive in a 3v3 format, I have to go with our current floor general, James Harden.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Okay.
James Harden, the number 1 Sixer of all time. Just like we drew it up.
And don't wait. And we might get Donovan Mitchell too. Who knows?
Maybe. Here's the question, though. Do we have to say, like, I want James Harden 5 years ago or this
No,
dude?
no. So, yeah. So think of it
Well, I
like
assume we're not going to take, Dikembe Mutombo now, for instance. So,
yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
like
but do you want, like, Denver Dikembe or Sixers
No.
Dikembe?
Mike, no, think like Sixers prime. Like the best of the best in their prime.
Okay. All right.
Wow.
Harden is yours.
All right. Harden goes to Team Zach. Sean, what is your selection for the number 2 pick, man?
Yeah, a little surprised to see Harden go off the board number 1. I'm
Don't
going to
lie.
lock in Allen Iverson as my number 2 pick. I feel like, to me, it's a no-brainer to have the guy who is just one of the pure bucket getters of all time, and I think I'm happy to build a squad around him.
All right.
Man, so official.
I'm not shocked that he's off the board. But anyway, I am on the board here. I could go many different directions. Iverson was my number 1.
He would
I'm
not
going to go, this is a tough one. And I don't know how this is going to do with voting, but I don't care. To me, I think he's sensational. I'm going to go with one of the most athletic players of all time, and that is Dr. J is going to be my first round selection.
I thought he was going to make it to me.
Oh my god. I got mine.
All right, Mitch, you're on the board.
I'm honestly surprised that this guy did not go number 1. This guy scored 100 points in a game. Give me Will Chamberlain. How did... I don't know.
All right. Well, Chamberlain goes to Team Mitch. What about you, Mike? You got back-to-back picks.
I'm going back to back, and this actually puts me in a very nice situation because what I'm going to do is piss off every Sixer fan that I can come up with. Sure, it would be easy to go Charles Barkley here. You know what? It is easy to go Charles Barkley here. I'm going Chuck right here. And, why
I
not?
thought Al Horford for a minute, the way you opened that up.
Yeah,
I honestly thought he was going to say Bynum.
but here's what I'm going to do. And a lot of you young bucks out there have never heard of this guy.
I probably have.
But if we're talking 3-on-3 and we're talking dynamic scoring, shooting, and playmaking, and Charles Barkley's going to be dishing the ball, receiving the ball from him, Andrew Toney
Nice.
Oh, he was on my
is a
list. Good
great pick
Wow.
right here in the second round. So I got Chuck and Andrew Toney, the Boston Strangler.
Mm.
That's who picked one.
Okay.
All right, Tony goes to Team Mike and Mitch. Where are you going to go?
All right. I got two in mind, but we're talking about fit here. So I'm going with my dad and I were talking about this all day. Maurice Cheeks. Give me Mo.
Cheeks.
Give me Mo Cheeks, man.
Gotta get
Like
that
Mo
floor general.
Cheeks and Will Chamberlain? Woo. I'm telling you, on Twitter, they're going to hate me for that. But I'm just saying.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Twitter is bad when it comes to Sixers things.
No,
There's no free throws. You can pick Will or Ben Simmons. It'll be fine.
I really want to know who's going to pick him.
All right. So
Nobody.
Mo Cheeks goes. Wait, why didn't that get white? All right. I am on the board here. I took Dr. J. Where do I go from here? I'm looking at my board. This is where it gets hard because I don't know where Sean and Zach are going to go. But yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go Joel Embiid. I'm going to Joel Embiid.
knew it.
I would have bet $1 million you were taking Joel Embiid.
Sean, you were going to get him, I thought.
But you got some chemistry issues because remember, Doc said that Jokic should be the MVP. So you got Doc and Joe. So you're going to have to do something about that.
I think you're right. All right, Team Sean, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm back. You did steal Joel Embiid for me. That does hurt. I will go Andre Iguodala as my pick.
Woo!
A guy I think a little bit out the box, but I think he's awesome. I think in his Sixers prime is going to be terrific, and I think he can do whatever you want him to do. So I think he kind of fits alongside whoever.
Wow, both AIs on the board.
Yeah. Can we just call him Team AI now? Thank you.
So don't hate me, but that was like the pick I was weighing with Joel Embiid. I think when we think of modern NBA, Iggy in his prime, like alongside Allen Iverson. Oh man, I love that. I love it.
Wow.
I definitely would have taken Embiid if you didn't.
Okay. What about you, Zach? You got back to back.
Yeah, well, as it just so happens, Joel Embiid and Andre Iguodala were my two top choices for my next pick. So, this becomes incredibly tough for me. If I'm looking at the entire list, who's left? So you said I have back to back. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, if I had back to back, then I guess I can't go wrong. But I will take. I'm gonna take, and this is a little outside the box, but I'm gonna take. Actually, I'll save him. I'll go Moses Malone first.
I
need my big man. I was torn between two, and it's gonna sound ridiculous who the other guy was, but Moses is just too good. I can't.
Yeah.
Not pick him.
Yeah.
All right, Moses Malone.
I love that. I honestly love that.
I'm curious where you think he would be in a modern NBA. I'm curious, especially Mike. What's your thoughts on Moses Malone in today's NBA?
Well, someone's going to try to pull him out of the paint, and he's going to have a hard time. He would have I thought he was unbelievable as a player, but this modern NBA would be a little challenging because he couldn't shoot a lick.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of the problem with most of the bigs in Sixers history. Joel Embiid being one of the few exceptions.
Exactly.
The person who I was considering was actually a power forward. I was going to play at the 5, but we'll save that for after.
You don't need a 5 when there's only 3.
So, well, the theoretical 5, the big man.
Wow.
You know? So anyway, the second pick that I have here now, I have my floor general. I have my big man to stuff the paint, to bring down the boards for me, do whatever he can to stop Wilt and Joel, because he's one of only a few Sixers who has a snowball's chance. But my next guy, I need some shooting. gotta go Hershey Hawkins.
That was mine. I was waiting. That was mine.
I love that selection. All right. It's spelled, is it Hershey or Hershey?
Hershey.
Well, it's spelled Hershey. Yeah.
I think that's how it is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Hershey without the H.
Yeah. All right, Hershey Hawkins. All right, Team Sean.
All right, my final pick here. So I got pretty much what I think I'm looking for with the AIs is kind of my focal point. I've been torn on which direction to go, but I think I'm locking it in with Dikembe Mutombo as my big man.
Very nice. Very nice. Kembe, Iverson, and Mutombo reunited.
Absolutely.
All right. Love that selection. All right. So this is my last selection, and I've got several players here that I love to death. Absolutely love to death, and it's going to be a tough pick. Sean's back. What's up, Sean?
That was quick.
Yeah.
All right. For some reason we just lost all the views. Just now. I don't know why. I can't figure it out. All right. I'm between two players here. If this was like a 5-on-5, I'd probably go in this direction. But since this is a 3-on-3, I need a guard. And I think when I think of 3-on-3, I think of like street ball, and I think this guy would absolutely tear it up. It's a guy that I know that Embiid loves. And for my selection, I'm going Jimmy Butler is my guard here.
Oh, I didn't think about
You
that.
literally took my pick. I didn't think there was any way he wasn't going to last. You actually stole two of my picks today. Good job.
Did I really?
Yeah, I wanted Doc also. So great job.
Oh, nice. I mean, he can like kind of handle the ball a little bit. He can take over and get a bucket. And like the idea of like, we'll talk about like kind of overall thoughts on our teams later. Mitch.
He's a dog.
What is your last selection?
My dad's gonna like this pick. You know what? Give me Billy Cunningham.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Give me Billy Cunningham. Hey, I'm going old school here. I've done so many Sixers all-time drafts. I've been picking the same people every time. So it's just like I'm trying to change it up.
Since I'm last, I can tell you who I'm thinking about picking, and then I'll tell you who I'm going to pick. I have Charles Barkley, and I have Andrew Toney. I have one of the greatest rebounders of all time, one of the greatest scorers of all time, lightning quick, someone who could take anybody off a dribble. Figure maybe we need a little defense. I was thinking about the Secretary of Defense, Bobby Jones.
Nice.
But I'm not
I was thinking that too.
Bobby Jones. I thought about one of the great defenders of all time in Sixers history, Ben Simmons. There's no way I would ever do that. I thought about a great two-way player that the Sixers had named Mikal Bridges. But I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to take another lost love, somebody who was drafted, somebody who Charles Barkley continues to lament never played for the Sixers, the number one pick in the draft out of the University of North Carolina, a big man who could shoot a little bit from the outside and would play defense next to Charles Barkley and rebound for Andrew Toney, Brad Daugherty.
Interesting.
Sixers great for 30 seconds, Brad Daugherty.
I thought you were going to pick Bynum.
The fact that it has UNC has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
Damn, I feel bad for him.
All right. All right. Brad Daugherty to Team Mike. Is anybody going to argue that at all? Are we going to allow that?
I mean, his choices are his own, and
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
All right. Let's go with So what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna throw this to Team Zach. Kind of explain your squad. Do you like your squad, and how would you grade it out of 10?
Yeah, sure. So, looking from top to bottom, obviously, even in a 3v3 format, you need guys who can move the ball, right? You can't have any kind of stagnant offense. So, having Harden who'd be able to lead the charge effectively, definitely, love his ability. Plus, thinking about the fact that, contrary to just this past year, Harden has shown an ability to get buckets. So, definitely love the pick for Harden there for myself. I kind of wish I didn't get the number 1 pick because I know he would have slipped a little bit, but it is what it is, and I couldn't risk him being there in the second round for me. So down to Moses Malone. It's really tough outside of Joel Embiid, who I really feel comfortable with at the big man. The guy I was thinking of other than Moses Malone, and I almost don't want to bring this up, was Chris Webber, just because he is probably the next closest guy you can get to a modern big. Who kind of fits that mold, could space the floor.
He's the best college player I ever saw live.
There was a time where Chris, obviously his time in Philadelphia was unceremonious, but
he had no knees. He had no knees.
No, none, absolutely none. So like Cotton Hill out there, yeah. So Chris Webber, I thought of for a second, went with Moses just because the proven product, got to take him. He's got that dog in him too. And then Hershey Hawkins, you need a guy who can just shoot. You need a guy who Harden's going to draw that double team, draw that attention. You got the big man in the post who's going to need some attention to Moses. So to be able to kick it right out to Hershey, Hershey is one of the most, I would even say by today's standards, underrated shooters in Sixers history. So to have Hershey out there, who I can have no doubt he's going to be like Korver on the wing, but with high usage. I'm all about it. So I feel great about my team. I got to go 9 out of 10 for myself.
I question your Moses Malone pick, and no disrespect to Moses Malone, but I like your squad. I kind of like the way it kind of balances out a little bit. I think your guards are going to definitely take a lot of attention. I think Moses Malone is going to just dominate down low. This is straight 9. Anybody else have any grades or takes on Team Zach?
Yeah, I'd like to rip it.
I was surprised.
By all means.
And by the way, just as a sneak preview, I'm going to rip every one of your picks. So go ahead, Sean.
I was going to say I was surprised by the James Harden pick, but it did kind of come together nicely when you got the full 3 together. And I think kind of what happens to players sometimes, the number 1 label is a little rough for them and weird in the spot, but I do like the team overall.
Yeah, so, if I were you, I would have said James Harden the first 5 games after the trade and kind of locked it in there. I love Moses. He brought us to the promised land, got us championship. I don't think he can play outside the paint. And Hershey Hawkins, what a great shooter. But in a game like this where you have to dribble and attack the basket, definitely not a strength for Hershey. So I'm going to give you a 7.
Oof.
No, I'll take that. I know Moses will take that 7 right to the paint against Daugherty, and he'll get 2 right nice and easy. So.
If he can catch him.
Anybody else? We good? All right, let's roll on to Team Sean. Explain your team, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, starting off with Allen Iverson, for me, this is pretty much this is our Showtime player right here. We got AI as the centerpiece. When I think about like 3v3 basketball, there's few guys I think would be as good as Allen Iverson, a guy that can just go get a bucket with anybody on him, sets the tone, makes everything happen for this team. Mutombo, I know he kind of has his limitations when we think about the modern basketball and stuff he can do, but still just such an imposing defensive premise. And obviously he already has the chemistry with AI. So I think that would be a terrific duo there. And then Iguodala, I just look at as kind of the connector, a guy that I think can do all the little things that are needed. He can handle when he's asked. He can score when he's asked. Can rebound. Probably our best defender as far as perimeter stuff. And I think it kind of flows together real nice where Iggy's kind of like fills in the gaps of what the team was missing.
Love it, man. Anybody have any hot takes or cold takes and grades out of 10 for Team Sean?
I would love to rip it, but
go for it.
But AI in 3-on-3 is about as good as it gets.
Yeah.
So I gotta give you a pretty high grade for this squad. I'm going to give it a 9.
Appreciate
Even
that.
it would be a 10 if you had anybody other than Dikembe that could move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I imagine like you're gonna have the same 2001 offense around Allen Iverson. Like you have Iguodala in the dunker spot or in the corner, then Mutombo kind of over here, and just let Iverson just attack.
Yeah, Sean, what are you doing? Tyrone Hill was available.
I thought about going super small and not taking a center, and maybe even going with like a Hal Greer or something, another scorer to kind of add to the bunch. But I decided I needed some sort of size.
It's not a bad idea.
Cheese was available.
Yeah, I love this squad. Andre Iguodala I had rated really high on my list. I almost took him over Joel Embiid. As crazy as that sounds, I think Iguodala alongside Iverson is a terrific match in their prime. I love that so much, and I love Mutombo. Who doesn't love Mutombo? I think Mutombo is going to get you a lot of votes too. People love Mutombo, so it's a straight 9. Anybody else?
I'm happy with that.
All right. We're going to my squad. I've got Jimmy Butler, Julius Erving, Joel Embiid. I don't have the best shooting on my squad, but I've got sexiness. I've got moxie. I've got toughness. I've got a ball handler in Jimmy Butler who, in a 3v3, I think would be absolutely electric, and just like getting in everyone's face. I've got Julius Erving, who's an unbelievable scorer, super athletic. Him almost like playing off ball in this kind of lineup is kind of crazy to me. And then you've got Joel Embiid, of course. We know that Jimmy Butler and Joel Embiid work terrific together. So I give myself a solid 8 out of 10. Anybody have any hot or cold take?
I'm gonna be honest. I love this team. Having Jimmy, Julius, and Joel. I get the shooting concerns that they definitely exist, but the size, the speed, the athleticism, I think it works really well for a 3v3 format, especially if you're playing full court 3v3, which I think is personally of the devil. But still. Potentially, if that's what you're running, I mean, there's no comparison with any of these other teams, I think. But to have that size, the athleticism, the dog nature in all three of them, I love this team. Obviously, you could use more shooting, but this is a high-quality team. I personally think this is the best one. If any team deserves a 10, I think it's this one.
Let's go!
I mean, aside from the obvious chemistry issues between Jimmy Butler and anybody, and Doc and Joe, you've got 3 very willing shooters that can't shoot. And
listen, if you give Doc a crown royal, he'll settle down and everything will be fine. And if you give Jimmy one too, then things will ratchet back up.
I'm packing the paint on this team, but as an 8-year-old child, when I met Dr. J, my life changed. And so I'm going to give you a 9.
Let's go. All right. Yep. All right. Rolling on to Team Mitch. What do you think about your squad, Mitch?
Well, Mo Cheeks for the floor general, he needs it direct, like Billy Cunningham, to get open a little bit. And Will Chamberlain, everyone's going to be doubling him. He's going to be wide. He's going to be covered the most times. But Mo Cheeks, he's a sneaky defender. He averaged like 2 steals for his whole career. So that's actually going to come in handy. And Billy Cunningham, a scorer, averaged 21 points per game for his whole career. So
Tar Heel.
Yeah.
That's for Chris.
Mm-hmm. I like my squad overall. I was just shocked that I got Wilt at 4. Mm-hmm. I was honestly shocked.
I think voting wise, your team will rely on Wilt Chamberlain heavily. Big time.
Yeah, I know.
Outside of that, I don't know who's voting for Mo Cheeks and Billy Cunningham. That's my only pause. I think I love Cunningham. I think he's a great scorer. I love his toughness and the way he played the game. And I think there's definitely some balance in this squad. I just worry about voting with your squad.
Yeah, voting, I don't care about the voting now. I'm just like, I'm going to lose anyways. I lost majority of them. So I'm just like,
Yeah,
Well,
whichever
listen,
team
they're
has
all
Joel
great
Embiid's going to win the
players.
vote. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Iverson, Iguodala, and Mutombo.
Iverson, yeah.
Iverson. Mike.
I think Iguodala kind of counteracts Iverson a little bit, and I have come to terms with my duality, love-hate nature with Andre Iguodala, and recognize that he was great in Philadelphia. He just wasn't the type of player that people thought with the contract. It's a lot like Tobias Harris, but I still think there's a pretty negative impression of him out there, especially with kind of his approach after his time with the Sixers. So I think that's going to kind of counteract the Iverson point a little bit. But like Chris said, Dikembe Mutombo might be the wild card there for getting the popular vote.
I think Iggy is way more liked than Tobias Harris. I'll say that.
Well, yeah,
I'm
because
glad
Iggy's
no
not
one picked
current.
Tobias.
If Iggy
I'm
was
actually
current,
glad.
then we'd have a problem.
Fair.
I forgot Tobias was available.
So for me, I would give my team like an 8. I mean, the shooting's not that good, but I'll give it an 8 because Wilt's there.
Anybody have any like hot takes or cold takes on Team Mitch?
I like Wilt Chamberlain. Like I really gave him some thought to take him second overall, but I just couldn't let AI slide by me.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
thing
mean,
with
the,
Will is that he will.
Wilt in the modern NBA would probably struggle a little bit, you know, in terms of having to shoot and leave the paint, but he was an incredible athlete.
Mhm.
And
I mean, Wilt's the type that you would literally say that to Wilt and he'd probably be like the best big.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like Always Sunny when Danny DeVito is talking about how Charlie's going to adapt to reading. No, he's going to adapt to shooting. He's just gonna he's gonna do it because he's Wilt Chamberlain. But
Wilt was
look at
like,
his
I bet
speed.
you
he never
can't.
did figure out that free throw thing, though, so that gives me a little pause.
Yeah, the speed
Yeah,
and
but he slept with
athleticism
100
of Wilt, I
women,
have a
so
lot
that's
of.
another reason why I took him. Slept with 100 women, so you gotta give him credit there.
Wilt was the type of like, oh, but you can't, assist. You can't make assists. Oh, I'm going to lead the league in assists.
Well, the
Yeah.
good thing is the only coach to ever win a championship for the Sixers is playing for you, so you at least maybe get some strategy out of it.
There it is. There it is. Interesting. All right. Anybody else have any takes on Team Mitch? Going once, going twice. Team Mike, go ahead.
All right, so I know it's a little controversial taking Brad Daugherty, but let's walk through this. Aside from some of the obvious bias about how he never put on a Sixer uniform, I see that, Jake Kenzie. Yeah, I hear you. But it counts because he was technically a Sixer for a couple of minutes, and then he was traded. So, under the spirit of the law, let's think about this team holistically. Can you imagine anybody stopping Charles Barkley going to the basket in a 3-on-3 game?
Will,
Can you imagine
Well, indeed, actually.
Will,
Can you
and
imagine anybody? Can you imagine anybody aside from maybe AI hanging quickness-wise with Andrew Toney? But Andrew Toney is 10 times better of a shooter than AI is. And Brad Daugherty, while Charles can go down low, Brad Daugherty can pop out, but he also adds size and he's quick and a great athlete. So to me, this is a championship team. It's not going to win the Twitter vote because it's not sexy. There's no Embiid on there, although Barkley's popular. But I'm going to give myself a 9.3 out of 10.
I wonder if he's actually more popular, Wilt or Barkley?
Barkley.
Oh, definitely Barkley.
Barkley.
Yeah, all the
But
Wilt people
I will
are
say,
like 80.
Mike, this is like a 6 at best. Like, you are losing first round, no question.
Oh,
No one's voting for this team. People are gonna look at Brad Daugherty and be like, "What the fuck was this guy thinking?" Charles Barkley, Andrew Toney, Brad Daugherty. Anybody over 70 is gonna vote for this squad. Nobody is 70 years old on Twitter. So this team is going down. This team sucks. Moving on.
I think my team is going to be in 4th. I'm telling you right now, I think I have 4th.
Wow.
Well, think about it. You got Harden on 1, you got Iverson and Iguodala and Mutombo, and then the third one, you got Butler, Irving, and Embiid.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
yeah, I feel pretty good about my team versus yours there in a 2K simulation. I gotta say.
You know,
No offense, Mike, but I feel pretty
no.
good about it.
Listen. All the casuals don't get it. I'm with you.
The casuals
I
who
mean-
don't know about Sixer great Brad Daugherty, yeah.
I want you all to go on YouTube. I want you to go watch some Andrew Toney highlights. I want you to go watch some Charles Barkley highlights, and go Google Brad Daugherty as a Cleveland Cavalier, former Sixer.
I'll tell you, I do love Andrew Toney, but I have always thought about Julius Erving as the true Boston Strangler, at least from a literal sense.
Nope.
Just for the Larry Bird situation. But I do love Andrew Toney, I will say.
Yeah, Tony was outstanding against the Boston Celtics. He's outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, anybody else have any thoughts on Team Mike? Going
Gonna
one.
be the underdog.
Yeah,
The underdog.
he's the underdog.
All right. So how this is going to work is, since Team Zach had the number 1 overall selection, Zach, you will have a first round bye.
Love it. You'll love to see it.
And it'll be the other 4 teams going against each other, and so forth. So be on the
Shouldn't
lookout.
the team that picks last have the bye?
No.
How about the 4th
No.
team?
It'll be.
You don't really see the Orlando Magic getting the first round bye for the playoffs, so I would say probably not.
I mean,
It'll be Team Mitch versus Team Mike, and then Team Sean versus Team Dives, myself. So that'll be the first round.
bring it, Mitch.
That will be.
Over Will. That's all I gotta say.
I'm a big fan of this comment. And B, Doc and Butler is the top team.
This is crock pot.
It's one of their burners.
I gotta say, my favorite pick in this whole draft was Hershey Hawkins.
I do.
That was
Well,
my
thank
favorite
you.
pick.
That was a great pick.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm a big
I
fan
like
of her.
Yeah,
man.
totally underrated.
Let me ask you guys one question. Would I have done better if I took Mikal Bridges instead of Brad Daugherty?
That one I would have thrown a flag on, because that one
Yeah.
I think that would have been a
Just for Bridges' sake, if nothing else, like he doesn't need any more fake ties to Philadelphia. I feel
Yeah.
like. Let the man rest, you know? Just-
I was surprised no one picked Eric Snow or Aaron
I
McKee.
wasn't. I was not at all. I was not.
If you've
surprised no
ever
one picked
watched
Eric
him
Snow.
shoot, you wouldn't be surprised.
All right.
That is
let's
true.
go there.
I was too young. I was like 7.
Eric Snow would be my first pick for guys to watch 3v3, not actually play 3v3.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So some of the guys that. All right. Let's go through guys that you're shocked that didn't get picked. My top 3 easily is JJ Redick, Tyrese Maxey, and Drew Holiday. I thought those were 3 guys that I love to death.
I had Drew Holiday very high on my list.
I had Holiday too. I did say
Holiday
everything.
was my 4th point guard after Harden, AI, and Mo Cheeks.
Anybody else have
I
any?
wanted to. I actually considered making a few. Making a few people's brains explode, and I was thinking about George McGinnis, but I chose not to.
He was on my list.
Definitely. I would have liked the Bobby Jones pick, Mike, way more than Brad Daugherty. I would have been way more.
You know, Bobby Jones is another Tar Heel too.
Yeah, Bobby Jones
I'll tell
is
you,
nice.
One of the names that I had, just because again, there's not too many big shooters for the Sixers, so I kind of just went the opposite way, obviously by going after Moses. But Dawkins and Ratliff were 2 names that I did have on my list, just in case I couldn't get a big, just as the reserves.
Right.
But because I mean, it's going to be pretty damn hard to get something past Ratliff in a 3v3. If he's camped out down low, it's going to be pretty tough.
You want to hear a funny Ratliff story?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I got one too.
I was moving my daughter into her dorm at the University of Alabama, and Ratliff and I shared an elevator. His daughter was going there too, and we were like carrying our shit up in the dorms when it was 100 degrees out, complaining. So I said we never should have traded you. He said you never should have, but he was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And for me, Theo Ratliff was my neighbor. He lived right behind me for like a decade.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, I'm like, he's nowhere here now. So it's just like, I wonder where he's at.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Did anybody have Dario Saric on their list?
I do have Dario on my list.
I didn't.
I like Dario.
What about Andre Miller?
I have Andre Miller on my list.
I had World Be Free. I had World Be Free.
Oh, interesting.
Ah,
How
I had
about
Chet Walker on
anti-pass
my list.
machine.
Chet Walker.
Kyle
Yeah.
Korver? I mean,
I was thinking
I
about
thought about
Korver
him, and then
instead
I
of,
was like, I'm
Daugherty.
easily going Hershey Hawkins before I go Kyle Korver.
So you can't have Kyle Korver in a 3-on-3 because you have to guard somebody.
Right.
yeah, true. Sean
And
Brown
there it
not
is.
on
Well,
anybody's list.
That was the whole reason I didn't
Manute
pick
Bol?
a
Anybody have
JJ
Manute Bol?
Redick as well.
No, I did not.
No.
I even had Seth Curry on my list.
I had Doug Collins on my
Did
list.
you?
He was far down it, but he was on the list.
First pro athlete I ever met when I was 6. Yeah.
That's cool. I actually met Hershey Hawkins back in the day. The Sixers had their training camp at F&M College, which is literally across the street from where I live. And I used to go check out training camp back in the day when that was okay. And you
Nice.
could walk right in. So
Yeah.
that's
Awesome. Yeah, I had a chance to actually meet Daryl Dawkins before he I had a chance to meet I'm now even forgetting. So it was at the draft show, yeah. So I had a chance to meet Daryl Dawkins. It was, I think, at the draft show that I talked about when they selected Jahlil Okafor. And basically they had like a meet and greet, and Dr. J and Daryl Dawkins were there. So we're there. It's like in the rain. People are walking up. We're like 2 people away, and then Dr. J steps away. And he just leaves, and so it's like just Daryl Dawkins. And for like most people, that would have been like heartbreaking. And I was a little like, oh man, I just missed out on my chance to meet Dr. J. But for me, like always being like a big kid from a Sixers fan family, like playing basketball, my dad showed me film of Dawkins and Chocolate Thunder. Like obviously I couldn't jump like that, but just the fundamentals, defensively. So to meet him, and before he passed, it was a special moment for me. So I absolutely love the guy, and I would have loved to have had him on this team because the pick and roll potential with Harden, I think, would have been insane.
one of the all-time nicknames. Nicknames.
Oh yeah.
Which one? Chocolate Thunder or Dr. Duncanstein?
Honestly, both. Both are top tier. Let's be honest.
Chocolate Thunder is my favorite.
I hadn't heard of the Dr. Dunkerstein. That one's awesome.
Yeah, Dr. Duncanstein is a pretty great one. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
All right. We've got Vegas, the sports fan almighty in the house. What's up? What is up? All right, let's wrap it up. I'll throw it to you, Mike. Where can we find you, man? Plugs.
Well, probably 6 feet under after you guys vote on this. Twitter poll, but at real Mike Small on Twitter. Don't follow the fake one. And the Killing Me Smalls podcast. That's KILLINME Smalls with a Z. And some good stuff coming up.
Awesome. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Sean_Bernard1. Check out my written work on Philly Sports Network and Clutch Points. I had a recap come out of that painful summer league game earlier today, so you can check that out. And then Pick Swap Media and Pick Swap Podcast for all the podcast content that you need from me.
Love it. So good. What about you, Zach?
Yeah, so at Zach Chavo NBA on Twitter. Be sure to follow me on there. And as far as my written work, it's with Philly Sports Network. It is also with Section 215, where you'll see a little less Sixers content for me, a lot more broad Phillies, Flyers, Eagles. So definitely check us out there. And then also the Baseline Scoop with my co-host Justin Crosby. We are working on some pretty special guests this summer, so a couple really nice episodes coming up for you nice folks.
All right, go check that out. Mitch, you're up, man.
You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at Mitch Topsy, and Hardcore Sports Network on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. So, yep, that's me.
Love it. Me and Sean did a summer league recap just a few hours ago. I think we can all agree we're happy that there's only one game left. We're moving on because it's been pretty brutal lately. I just did right before this, I did an awesome Jalen Hurts preview show with Mark Schofield, who's amazing with just quarterback analysis. Pretty high on Jalen Hurts. There's a lot of hype. So go check that out. And my cornerback rankings for the 2023 class will be dropping as well tomorrow. Yeah, that's basically it. So we'll be doing a post-game show for tomorrow's game. I don't even know who they play. The Nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets. So tomorrow, probably around like 8-ish. And we'll saying goodbye to the Sixers for a few months. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I'm eating these pretzels. Please be sure to subscribe to the Hardcore Sports Network there, and Mitch Kofsky. My man Zach over there at Philly Sports Network and Section 215 Baseline Scoop. Go subscribe. Pick Swap Media down there at Sean_Bernard and Pick Swap Podcast. So good. Clutch Sports and Philly Sports Network. Sorry. And then, oh my God, I did call it Clutch Sports. Clutch Points, correct?
Clutch Points, yes.
Why do I always call it? God, I'm sorry, Sean. Sorry. It's only the 20th time I've done that. And he is down there at Real Mike Small, the Killing Me Smalls podcast. For everyone watching, please be sure to subscribe to Everybody's Here's Network. Always amazing, amazing Philly sports content. You'll thank me later. For Mitch, for Zach, for Mike, for Sean. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.